Hello again. I mentioned yesterday that Franz Boas and Ruth Benedict, both of whom were Jewish, were the architects of modern anti-racism. Some people commenting here seem to assume that I was subscribing to the idea that this ties in with the idea that anti-racism is part of some wider conspiracy to subvert Europe. Mention was made of the Kalergi plan, for example. I did not mean at all to imply any such thing. The fact is that in any field of endeavour or political system, you will generally find that Jews have helped to shape it or are currently at the top of the thing in some role or another. Some people have claimed that both anti-racism and communism have strong connections with specific Jews. This is, of course, undeniable. Karl Marx was a Jew, and so was Trotsky and various other famous communists. The principles of anti-racism, as it is today practiced, were similarly devised by Jews, and some of its most enthusiastic proponents today are also Jews. Much the same goes for multiculturalism. So much is true, but that does not really tell us anything useful. Communism and anti-racism are two ideas which are often brought up as being examples of things which have Jewish origins and in which Jews have seemingly been closely involved. They are sometimes woven together into a wide-ranging and malevolent conspiracy, the object of which is the destruction of European civilization. It is though a question of what you focus on and where you look. Look at communism and you'll certainly find Jews playing an important role. But that doesn't mean to suggest any particular affinity between Jews and communism. Looking at British conservatism tells you much the same thing. The British Conservative Party today may be said to be largely a product of one man's thought. This is the man who, in the 19th century, took the old, muddled and confused ideas of the 18th century Tories and transformed them single-handedly into a modern and coherent system of political thought, to which half the people in Britain now adhere and vote for at general elections. That man was, of course, Benjamin Disraeli, who was a Jew. In the 1980s, British conservatism once again underwent a revolution by abandoning the Keynesian economics to which every British politician of all creeds had paid lip service for much of the 20th century, and adopting instead the principles of monetarism. Who was the ideologue whom Margaret Thatcher and the Conservatives followed in this course? That would be the Nobel Prize-winning economist Milton Friedman, who also happened to be a Jew. I do hope that no viewers regard the British Conservative Party as some kind of Jewish conspiracy. The truth is that Ashkenazi Jews tend to rise to the top in many enterprises, whether political, social, creative, religious or scientific. We view the world scientifically today through the perspective of Albert Einstein's ideas, who was another Jew. We have in Britain the state religion of which the Queen is the head. This is Christianity, which was founded by another Jew. The truth is that wherever you look, you are going to find Jews coming up with radical new ideas and then spearheading them. This is true of religion as it is of science and politics. It is also true of anti-racism and multiculturalism. I may not be a fan of some of these ideas, but I do not think that they have been maliciously invented by Jews for some wicked ulterior purpose, any more than I regard Einstein's theory of relativity as part of a Jewish conspiracy, or the Sermon on the Mount as a piece of cunning Jewish propaganda. It is what Jews do. They innovate. They come up with new ideas, and they lead the field in various enterprises of all kinds. The association of people like Franz Boas and Ruth Benedict with anti-racism is simply part of this wider trend, and it has no sinister implications. Just identifying Jews as playing a part in this or that scheme tells us little. It certainly does not indicate that we should interpret what we see through the lens of the protocols of the elders of Zion or something of that sort.